right, everybody, welcome back. Fresh Takes, Russo and Felice, the only true debate that matters this evening. I am Paul Russo. Across from me, as always, man, myth, rocking the Hawaiian shirt himself tonight, Nick Felice. Nick, been a while. How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm doing good, Paul. How you doing?
Feeling it. You know, I need to save a lot of what I want to say, for our topics. So you know this, but I'm feeling it tonight.
Yeah, it's good to be back in the studio.
Yeah.
Got a big talk about that hat you're wearing.
Thank you.
We got to get into that team today, but we are not alone.
It's true.
Oh,
Are you?
You want me to get going? Yeah, this our guest today becomes the fourth ever guest to come on multiple times. Our brothers, Jim Spina, and now Mike Bruno is back.
Hello, everybody.
There he is.
Here
Second
I am.
appearance on
Here
the
I am.
pod.
Yes, the second time.
Almost a year ago?
Yeah,
Just about,
right
yeah.
around this time. I think it was the first week in October, so
Something like
maybe
that.
51 weeks.
Yeah. But it's good to have you back.
Thank you. It's good to be
how's
back.
quarantine been for you?
Quarantine has been pretty good. Taking a couple of strokes off the golf game a little bit.
That's it. I'd say it's more than just a couple, but
Well, I think it's just a couple, but it's here and there. A couple at a time.
But you're back. You're back working at that Lago.
Yes, I am.
There you go.
it's good. Good to hear. There are topics. I'm ready to go. We're starting with the Cup.
As we should.
We're going to the NBA Finals after that, then the NFL, and then MLB playoffs. I'm feeling some type of way.
All right.
All right.
It's a good season.
I'm feeling some type of way.
Let's see.
This is usually the best time of year, and now with everything
That's
going
true.
on, the finals right now, that's pretty cool. Stanley Cup just ended, so I mean now we have the layoff until regular season.
Bruno's going right in. Keep going.
I mean, it's gonna be kind of interesting. It's a great time. Obviously, we had the finals. What, they start Wednesday or on Thursday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. That'll be
That's
a fun.
tomorrow.
That's gonna be a fun series. I think the Lakers are a little too much for Miami, but
We'll get into that.
it's gonna be a little closer than people anticipate, in my opinion. Obviously, football is going on, and with no preseason, this should be when teams start to click, and I think we're gonna see some teams have a breakout year, and some teams are gonna keep going down the drain.
Speaking of breakout years, Bruno, we'll jump right into the hockey
Okay,
because I'm feeling some type of way.
All right.
I'm going to go to you first.
on me. All right, what do you want to know?
What was it freaking like watching this in the bubble and knowing damn well what the Lightning had to go through last year psychologically into this year?
Well, obviously watching it in the bubble is no different than watching it with fans in the stands, because we're just watching the ice, the
I guess
players pretty
that
much.
part of it, yeah.
The players, obviously, it's a lot different for. But I was not surprised that Tampa Bay came out strong. They clearly showed that they had the best offense, or one of them, in the playoffs, and then they also had a great defense to go along with that. What a snap. If you go and follow and watch hockey, their AHL team, the Syracuse Crunch,
That's right.
is just as good as the NHL team, as the Lightning. So they should remain good for the next decade. That team will not go away. What do you make about that, Roos?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Bruno, because I tell you what, Homer Paul is going to be a big part of this podcast today, because let me tell you something, all right? Freaking everybody coming in this year, and including me, admittedly, I'm thinking Boston. This is Boston's year. Guess what? We have the best freaking goalie in the NHL with Vasilevsky.
You did pick Boston.
I did. I just said that.
Remind him, Nick.
I did take Dallas so to make the finals out of the West. Look up that receipt. I got that part.
So did I.
Check the tape.
Roll the tapes.
But look, here's the thing. Freaking Victor Hedman's so freaking good. Got the Conn Smythe, which I don't think I would have gone with. I thought Braden Point would have gotten it. But here's the thing. Tampa Bay, give the blank check to Braden Point. Let him fill in whatever amount he wants to fill in. As much as it pains me to do this, if you let Tyler Johnson go, you let Tyler Johnson go.
I agree with that. I would do that.
Because let me tell you something. As Bruno, as you pointed out, the crunch right down the road from us. Oh,
Here's
This
some.
roster is all full of crunch. I'm telling you.
No.
We are coming again.
Now let me ask you this:
Okay.
you did all this. You won the cup without Stamkos.
Not entirely true.
He didn't play for 210 days.
He
and
got
then
us a goal.
He didn't play until the Stanley Cup, and you were still putting up all these goals. Could you see them moving away from Stamkos and getting more players in return
This
to
has
add
been
depth
This
to
has
that
actually
team?
been a conversation I have had with Jim Spina.
Okay.
I don't know if I've really said it on here, but yeah, I'm all for trading Stamkos. So it's going to sound really bad, but going into this year, I was questioning a lot of his leadership ability.
How come?
Very quiet during the Columbus deal, and really that whole year was kind of quiet. It was a team that needed, I think, more of a player voice. I mean, you're not going to get it with Coot. And look, they're good players, and they could get the C should Stamkos move on, or we move on from Stamkos. But, like, Hedman's not naturally very vocal anyway. Kucherov's pretty quiet. Like, I don't know who would kind of step up in that point. It almost makes me wonder if McDonough would become the captain.
You could almost go with what some teams do and have no captain and just rotate it through the three players.
Which is definitely something that they could do. They could give a fourth alternate out, or third alternate rather. But yeah, I did say kind of, especially with Jim Spina, was like I think you gotta almost move on. He's getting up there. Obviously, the injury stuff now is kind of starting to build up a little bit against him. That being said, I think there'd be a lot of fans who would be, I'd say probably more on the Marty St. Louis side of things post this deal, with the way it went down with St. Louis as opposed to Vinny Lecavalier. I think, Vinny, he didn't want out at the end.
Right.
But Tampa certainly recognized at that point the juice wasn't worth the squeeze with him, and I think the fans kind of recognized that too, mostly at that point. Whereas with St. Louis, he was still putting in production. Obviously, nothing like at his peak, kind of like the mid 2000s to like 2010ish years. But he had become such interwoven with the style at the time, right? Because you had Tyler Johnson, who just pretty much come freshly up at that point, still very young and impressionable team. At that point, we really didn't have any elder statesmen on the squad for the most part. I mean, I think really the oldest player probably was like Ben Bishop at the time. So, we got back Callahan in that deal, but I think you'd see more fan reaction like a St. Louis style trade than what happened with Lecavalier. Should something with Stamkos happen?
Okay. I can agree with that. What about you, Nick?
I'm not
big news for him, not to get off topic, but the Rangers letting their buyout Lundqvist, I saw.
I just want to remind people that the Rangers were in the playoffs this year, even though they were out in like 4 days. But and it was like a couple months ago.
I did like this style of playoffs the NHL did.
Yeah, and
I did like having the top 4 teams battle out for the 1, 2, 3 seeds. Yeah, I did like that in the round robin, bringing in the 12 seeds.
That was cool.
That was kind of an interesting take.
But I'm happy for the Lightning. They deserved it.
That's right.
Exercise
demons.
It gives me a Virginia Cavaliers college basketball feel because you lose to for them they lost to the 16th seed. That was very embarrassing. And
we lost to an 8th seed, please.
They come back the next year and win it all. Last year they got swept. They were like the greatest hockey team ever. Got swept by the Blue Jackets.
Yep.
They even get their revenge with the Blue Jackets this year, and they win it all. So it's kind of reminded Virginia a little bit.
What's funny about that is though the biggest game of this probably playoff for the Lightning was Game 1 against Columbus.
The 5 overtime game.
5 overtime. I mean, if they don't win that, I don't think we're talking about this right now at all.
No, that would be a completely different mindset for them.
It also they also didn't get the Golden Knights in the finals. I thought that.
Yeah, that was a big help.
Yeah.
I did not like the matchup against Vegas at all.
No, so that helped. I mean, the Stars. I don't know their history. I don't remember them ever being in a finals.
Yeah,
They got
99
they
or
have
2000.
one, they have
Yeah, they
one
beat the
in
Sabres.
Dallas because they had Mike Modano.
Yeah, they beat the Sabres.
Yeah.
All right, but
I'm about to say, yeah, that was the infamous
The
skate
in the crease, yeah.
just I'm pretty sure though, out of all like the main major sports, they're the first to finish their season out. The NHL, right? NASCAR, all that still going on, trying to finish their seasons out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, golf technically finished their season, but
No, they sold the Masters.
I know they just like their season though.
Oh.
It's not over till Augustus thing.
Yeah. So, but the bubble worked. The bubble. I mean, we'll talk about the NBA in a second, but the bubble worked there. Don't know what MLB did this year, but they're still going. They're looking like they're gonna.
They
finish.
got
But they made it.
They got a bubble coming up.
Only
here.
2 games. We'll talk about it in a second, but only 2 games. Didn't finish in the MLB. It was Tigers and Cardinals 2 games, so they got almost every game in. So that was good. The NHL got every game in, and I honestly liked the format. I really did, like you said. 2014 is maybe way too many teams, but it was pretty cool what they did.
I think Bruno can attest to this. It certainly gave off more of like that tournament style feel with this. Because, I mean, Bruno, if the people don't know, he played youth hockey. Played hockey through most of high school, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've certainly been in that atmosphere before, just kind of like the travel tournament style. Certainly had that feel to it, which I think we all kind of long for. We kind of miss those days, like for us anyway, like me and Nick with travel basketball, going to Elmira, for instance.
Yeah.
But
that was still different because you could do things like here. You're in a bubble, you can't go out
I'm
and
just
get
saying
dinner.
it's kind
You
of,
can't
you know,
go
but
do
I'm just
something.
saying it's kind of like that feel for the players.
True.
Right? Kind of like that camaraderie.
That was my last time I ever played basketball competitively until I took my talents in the intramural stage.
I hear you won a couple championships at Cuca.
Yeah. You know, I'm very talented
There you go. Follow.
teammate.
Teammate. The all-teammate Hall of Fame.
Yeah. But now I'm retired, and now I talk about sports.
All right.
Let's move on then.
Let's.
Lakers and Heat. NBA bubble.
Another one of Paul's teams.
Battle in Disney.
Paul's just going to switch his lightning hat off now and put his Heat hat.
I should have brought my Heat hat. But
All his teams. Washington football team, Super Bowl, icing on the cake.
His teams are doing really good right now. Washington's in first place.
True, thank you.
Yankees are in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Lightning won the championship. Heat are already in the
But
finals.
will the Yankees beat the Indians?
no.
They're up right now, right?
Yeah, but I don't. That's a different discussion. We'll get to that. Where's Paul Pierce? I still haven't seen anything from Paul Pierce. Do we have to wheel him in? Grab his wheelchair for him? God, I hate that guy. Anyway, I got receipts. Everybody's saying that the Heat wouldn't make it. 7 or 8 seed. They'd get swept by the Nets. Yeah, guess what? Guess what? We got the MVP on our team. The actual MVP. Tyler Hero. Walking bucket. Jimmy Buckets, Jimmy Butler. He's Jimmy P. Jimmy Playoffs. Oh. Heat in 6.
Heat in
Wow.
6.
Heat in 6.
Bold prediction.
I'm feeling it.
We haven't even talked about
Heat in 6.
the finals at all. He's already given out a prediction.
But you clearly know Paul's going Heat in 6.
What do you think, Bruno?
Spoelstra. Don't sleep on him.
I don't think people are sleeping on him. I personally believe, well, clearly, for my job, getting to see most of the games, Miami, to me, is one of the more fun teams to watch. And I've been saying this back since December, January, that the Miami Heat were going to be a sleeper in the playoffs. And that was one of my predictions early on, that Miami, at the time, they were 19-1 at home, would represent the Eastern Conference in the playoffs. However, I did think they would be playing the Clippers, but instead they're playing the Lakers. I don't think Miami has a chance at all to win this series. I think LeBron and Anthony Davis are going to be way too much to handle. Now, I do think Bam and the way Miami plays defense and able to switch up into zones and into man is going to benefit them to give them different looks. However, I think if you go into a zone, Anthony Davis is going to be wide open down low. If you don't do that, and if you drop Bam down to cover, obviously you have to do that. You're going to keep the key wide open for pick and rolls. So I think the Lakers are going to exploit that pretty fast. And I think the Lakers will win this in a gentleman's sweep in 5 games, where they may take games 3 or 4 off and try out different lineups to see who can flow into next season. But that's my prediction. I think the Heat in 5. Or the Lakers in 5.
You missed a key thing about the Lakers, Bruno.
What's that?
Frank Vogel doesn't know how to beat the Heat.
Okay. He doesn't know how to beat the Heat, but how many people can go and beat Anthony Davis and LeBron?
Eric Spoelstra.
Danny Green. He's going back-to-back finals champions.
I mean, big Danny Green.
All right.
Is it he don't know how to? I'm gonna go there. Doesn't know how to beat the Heat, or he doesn't know how to beat LeBron, who's on his team?
Oh boy, he had big playoff P on his team at the time. And Roy Hibbert, the freaking walking trash can.
I will be rooting for the Heat, but I don't think the Heat are going to win this series. I don't even know. Well, I really have no idea what to expect. Are they going to give him a series? Bruno doesn't think so. Paul clearly does.
Heat in 6.
Paul's not giving the Lakers a chance. He's saying this is a wrap.
They'll have their games. They got 2 of them.
He's saying this is a wrap.
I think it's almost like the Warriors with this Lakers right now. I'll believe it when I see it, when they actually lose a series. And because I was definitely one of those guys when Portland won Game 1. I was on board because, Melo gets to my heart, and then I was rooting for Portland. And then Houston wins Game 1, and then Denver wins a game, and you're thinking, well, maybe because they almost could have won another game. But they've won all their series in, 5? The Lakers? I think every 1 in 5.
Yeah. They lost the first game and won the next.
Yeah.
Besides the Denver series where they lost, Game 3?
Yeah, something like that. But I think it's going to be interesting. It will be interesting. Do they have a finals game on a Sunday? I'm assuming.
Yes, they have 2.
This week. It's not a Sunday. I know that.
And so is the following week. And it's a day game. It's at 3:30.
I'm just so intrigued to see what the ratings are for that, because this is the first time the NBA Finals have ever, I'm going to assume, first time they've ever competed with NFL football. So
that is true.
I'm really intrigued to see what kind of ratings they get for a Sunday game.
They really should have just taken Sundays, Mondays off and played Friday, Saturday, Tuesday.
Yeah, they could compete with college football. I don't know if you can compete with the NFL.
Especially this year's college football without half the teams. You have half the conferences not playing. Why wouldn't you?
But they are coming back.
They are coming back, which is also...
That's right, the MAC is back, baby. Woo!
So is the Big Ten's coming back here shortly?
Yeah, but no one cares. We're here for the MACtion.
No, the MACtion?
I don't want to get too sidetracked. Do you guys think the Big Ten and the Pac-12 deserve a shot at the playoffs, even playing only 7?
Personally, I do not. No? I think they should not. Well, here's my thing. It depends on how you're going to grade it. If you're going by, you have to win your conference and you get in that way, then yes, I think they should have a chance. If you're going to go by at-larges and say, oh, well, their schedule's hardy, that's not fair for anybody. But back to what we were talking about before the show, I currently believe the best way college football would work is get rid of non-conference games, which is going to upset a lot of people, and then your non-conference games becoming you play the other half of your conference. Because then you turn every college football week into rivalry week, which every game is a must-win. Then you clearly, at the end of the season, have a clear-cut champion. To me, that makes the most sense, the way they have the format working. And by how they say you have to beat a team head-to-head, and then more conference wins, you have to win the conference. Clearly, that's not true because in the first time they did that, Penn State beat Ohio State, won the conference. Penn State did not get into the tournament. How does that make any sense to the committee?
No.
Based off their standards, Penn State was a better team, but they're like, Penn State does not deserve a chance at winning a championship. Ohio State does. To me, that makes no sense. Anybody else have a take on that? How about you, Nick?
I think they should go to 8. 8 playoff teams.
8 teams?
8, yep. I think that's...
Why not 16?
Well, of course, I would love 16. You know what I mean? I'm a big college basketball guy. I love 64. Let's put 64. You know, forget the regular season. Cancel the SEC championship
Every
game.
team gets in.
College basketball, they should do that.
They were talking about that. Coach Jim Boeheim and Coach Gay are on board saying every team deserves a chance.
Yeah.
And then it would be, 357 teams, I think?
Mm-hmm.
It would be,
yeah.
and it's like your top 64 are the ones that all get the buys.
Mm-hmm.
Which that would actually be a pretty cool idea, but it wouldn't work out.
But to get back on track with the NBA, I will say I am surprised that the Heat actually got back to the finals without LeBron. And I personally think without the home court advantage is what helped the Heat, and the better teams started. You know, the Heat are a good team. They're the best team in the East. But sometimes home court advantage plays a factor where they might have not won that Bucks series.
That is true.
And
well, here's
when
also
it's
the
fair
other thing.
game, the Heat are a better team.
They're still in the bubble. People have to remember this. The Miami Heat is a very young team where they're there to play basketball. The Lakers know that this is their job. As soon as the job is done, whether they win or lose, they get to go homes, and most of them have families. So I think they're going to try to wrap this up as fast as possible. And I think it's probably going to be majority blowouts, is what I'm calling. By blowouts, I'm saying Lakers by 12 in the majority of the games.
Well, you remember that one?
Tyler Hero has a family.
I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm
Yeah,
saying...
you're right. His adopted son, Deuce.
Does he have an adopted son?
Yeah, Jason
He's 20
Tatum.
years old. Why does he have an adopted son? That makes no
Yeah,
sense.
it's Jason Tatum.
Oh my god. Shut up.
But
Shut up.
remember that one? I don't remember the year, but Warriors, Cavs,
Yeah.
one of those 4 years, they were 6 blowout. Went to Game 7.
Oh, I do remember
I think
that.
it was one of the Cavs won.
Yeah.
This was 2016, and they were 6 blowouts, but they were like tied in points after
Yep.
going into Game 7. The Cavs won. So, is that what you mean by blowouts?
Yeah.
But all in the Lakers' favor.
all in favor of the Los Angeles Lakers, besides maybe one game.
Yeah. Now, what does this do for LeBron? Does this make him a Laker great if he wins the championship?
I say no.
I
don't think it makes him a
great.
great. I think you have to have 2 championships.
Yeah.
If he goes back to back, I would consider him maybe there. But also, another thing when you think of Lakers greats is retired players that played for the Lakers. When LeBron James retires, people are going to say the Cavaliers. They're going to be like, he played for the Cavaliers. No one's going to be like 50 years down the line. LeBron James, yeah, he was a great Miami Heat player. No, they're going to be like, he's a Cavalier.
Because this is the end of his career.
Well, well, who knows how much longer he's going to play. What I think he's going to do is he's going to try to play with his son for at least 1 or 2 years when he's 40.
How old is his son?
He is, a sophomore in high school, I believe?
No, I think this is his junior year.
Or junior year?
Oh, okay, so a couple
So
more.
LeBron will be 39, I think, when his son comes into the league. If he has a chance, because he has to go to college. He might be 40. Whereas, if LeBron, his contract ends in 2 more years, I think. He signed a 4-year deal, if I'm correct. He takes that 1 year off in retirement, follows his son to either college or the G League, and then whatever team drafts his son, he's going to sign like a 1 or 2 year
I
contract.
can see that.
I could see that
I can see him
happening.
retire after 1 year with his son.
Yeah.
But Paul, what do you think? Is he a Laker great if he wins this championship?
I mean, yeah. I'd say yeah.
After one championship,
No. Yeah, why not?
you know what? I'm a hot
Dude,
take right now. Anthony
hold
Davis would
on.
be more of a
I mean,
great than LeBron.
Dude, Lakers fans think that, like...
AD would go 1 for 1 in
Lakers
finals.
fans think that, like, fucking Vlade Divac is a great. So, I mean...
When we're saying greats, we're talking Magic, Kobe, Shaq.
Yeah.
You're putting LeBron in that conversation with those as like your greats?
I mean, yeah, why not?
Oh, my goodness.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
Yeah, there
Jerry
you go.
West.
Big shot. James Worthy, big game James.
They all have more than one ring for the Lakers. I think LeBron has to win a
I
second.
mean,
to
Jerry
be
West,
considered-
Jerry
Paul
West
Gasol.
only has West only has one.
Well, that's Jerry West.
Jerry West only has one. Elgin Baylor has none.
Well, that's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Numbers never lie. Hashtag sabermetrics.
Baseball? Not yet.
Except broken clocks.
No, Nick. Wrong. The NFL is off and running.
Why?
Why isn't it not allowing... There it goes. We're off and running 3 weeks in, and we have our first official COVID outbreak.
I know.
I mean, this is... I don't know. This is going to be weird. A lot of interesting headlines, though, so far. So, I don't know. Biggest headlines to you? What to you guys? What are the biggest... Because for me, it's the injuries. To me, anyway.
Yeah, that's up there.
Yeah, I would say the injuries. Nothing else is really a surprise. With no preseason, I think that's what is helping or hurting the injuries because no one has
I see what you did
gameplay.
there.
With what?
Hurting the injuries.
Good pun. I didn't even realize that. But even if you don't play a full preseason, you need at least
You do
one
need
or
the
two
reps,
games. You need some reps. You need to be able to get hit. Because, what was it, 49ers have 16 players injured right now?
Yeah.
Or with some sort of injury. That is not a way that the NFL should be going.
The Broncos have like $50 million tied up on the IR right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. But it's also what they have to do during this pandemic. It's not like they had a choice. They could have did other things. I mean, they could have just canceled the season completely, but to me, not having a preseason, just jumping right into the season is what caused these injuries.
Yeah.
One big shock I am surprised of is Odell Beckham Jr. is being hidden everywhere. He cannot get open, or Baker Mayfield cannot find him on the field. That is a problem in Cleveland. Watch out. Coming up, if he does not have 3 games where he's just constantly targeted, this is going to be a disaster. Cleveland should look to trading him sooner rather than later. Because he is going to make some sort of outbreak happen. I can see this happening very quick. And Baker is not a leader to be like, you can't do this. If Odell goes and starts going nuts, Baker is going to follow right behind him. Watch out.
Yeah, the Browns were over 500 for the first time because they played Cincinnati and Washington. But my first place, Washington.
Says you.
But my biggest
place,
surprise, other
Giants.
than the Chiefs being an underdog last night, is probably, let's give some local love. How about Josh Allen, MVP front runner for the MVP? I know he played the Dolphins, Dolphins, right?
Yeah.
Dolphins.
That was week 1.
Jets, and who else?
The Rams.
The Rams. Yeah, he came back and they blew it, and then he had that big drive at the end.
I forgot. Josh Allen plays defense for the Bills.
And yeah, they had a questionable pass interference call at the end there, but
Extremely questionable, but
With an also questionable interception call before.
that is true.
yeah. But Josh Allen, I think, is the biggest surprise because there was talks they might want another quarterback, and I think. Can we say out of those quarterbacks in that draft, would it be Darnold, Mayfield, isn't Lamar in that draft?
Yep.
Maybe not Lamar, but...
Josh Rosen.
Yeah, maybe not Lamar, but Josh Allen could probably be the best quarterback out of that draft.
Oh, 100%.
What do you think of him?
What about Josh Allen?
Yeah.
I like him. I said last year on this podcast, I said if you give Josh Allen a receiver, the Buffalo Bills are going to be a problem.
And Diggs has done good?
They went out and they got Stephon Diggs. What that does is they have a deep threat to Diggs. You have Cole Beasley in the slot, and then you have Brown as another receiver. That's a pretty good offense with Singletary in the backfield. And good blocking. And a very good defense. However, they did give up some points to Miami. and they gave up a boatload of points to the Rams. If they can figure out how to win those games and not turn those points into it, you would have 2 huge blowout games instantly. So I think Buffalo is going to be a sleeper here. They're the favorite to win the AFC East to start the season. Then Cam Newton came out, and people were like, the Patriots aren't going anywhere. But watch out for the Buffalo Bills. They are not moving. I predict them in the AFC Championship game this year.
Wow. That would.
They will beat either Kansas City or Baltimore in the playoffs and lose to the other team in the championship game. That will happen.
Now, Paul's brother Pat and you are big, diehard Dolphins fans. Let's hear the love about the Miami Dolphins right now.
Hey, this is no news. I mean, we beat the Jaguars. We lost to the Bills. Clearly, the Bills, I just said, is a good team. We lost by 4 points. It was like 32-28. Then we lost to the Patriots, which, obviously, the Patriots are a good team. But clearly, with our schedule, it's going to be tough to win a lot of games. I think they'll go 7-9. Fitzpatrick's doing his job mentoring Tua. But here's the thing I like is most players play for their money or their respect. All the Miami Dolphins players seem to play for Brian Flores. They go out and represent for him. They want to play and make him look good. So whatever he is doing down in Miami is going to pay off. He's clearly getting big names. He signed Byron Jones. He signed Kyle Van Noy. He signed half the Patriots teams, half the Patriots defense. He was their linebacker coach at the time there, which means players clearly like his coaching philosophies and styles. If they want to go and fly from New England to Miami to a team that is relatively bad. Like they aren't out here trying to win a Super Bowl. They're not out here trying to look cool. They know Miami was not a good team the last couple of years, and they're rebuilding. This is a chance where, hey, we want to be part of that rebuilding process because where they're going is in the right direction. Let's help them out.
Another headline, I think, for me is who is the worst team that is tanking for Trevor Lawrence? And I'm going to throw it to you in a second. That you could say it's the Giants. You could say it's the Jets. You thought Detroit maybe. Cincinnati's bad. And another team
Cincinnati.
that played Cincinnati this week, who's also bad, is the Philadelphia Eagles and that great wide receiver core they have. And Mike Bruno has some words on the Eagles over here.
I have
hold on, Bruno. You do it. I'll be your hype man, okay? 'Cause I'm with you on this.
I have nothing but respect for the Eagles.
No, you don't. Speak the truth.
But I think that they were a pretty good organization run. Mm-hmm. I still give them credit for that. Mm-hmm. But Doug Peterson has a choice to make right now. Carson Wentz.
That's right.
Is straight garbage this season.
Go Bisons.
He needs to figure out a way to get a win. His next 3 games, he plays the 49ers, the Ravens, and the Buccaneers. He has to steal one of those games. If you go 0-5-1 and you want to be considered a top-tier quarterback in the NFL, name one top-tier quarterback that is 0-5-1 or 0-6.
Can't think of
to
one.
start the season. Or 1-6, at that matter.
Maybe Drew Bledsoe.
To start the season. And then when? Right now?
No. I'm just, I'm being the unnecessary hype. Keep going.
See what I'm like? It's hard to do, and I think they have a choice because they drafted Jalen Hurts for a reason. Is this the time to say we need to see what Jalen Hurts can do? Is this because there was no preseason Carson Wentz isn't performing? But I'm saying he needs to find some connection with some receiver. I don't care who, if it's Deshaun Jackson, if it's Ertz, anybody. He needs to get the ball in the air. He also needs blocking. If they do not block for him, he is very injury prone, and they give him no help. And that team is only getting older. But here's also another thing. Mm-hmm. His MVP year, he got injured.
That's true.
Nick Foles won the Super Bowl for him.
That's true.
The next year when they made the playoffs, Carson Wentz did nothing in that game. Mm-hmm. I think the big stage gets to him. He went to a small college, remember this, because he wasn't highly recruited.
That's right, NDSU, go Bisons.
And here we go. Now he's getting all these passes. Oh, he's injury prone. He's this, he's that. Eventually, you only play for so long. You cannot be injured for 20 years and be considered a great quarterback. You have to make a decision right now. We have to invest in blocking or we have to invest in another quarterback. Because Jalen Hurts right now, he can scramble. Carson Wentz can scramble too. But I think Jalen Hurts, if you can put in some runs for him, he could be something. They may also want Lawrence. But I'm going to throw it back to Nick Felice right here with his take.
And it is still, like he said, it is still week 3 of 2020, and Carson Wentz is still losing games, and Nick Foles is still coming back in games. Like he
Comeback, baby.
Well, then again, the Atlanta Falcons blow every freaking lead they have.
That's a disgrace team right there.
Yes.
That is a disgrace. They go to Lambeau Field on Monday. That's going to be a blowout. Aaron Rodgers is going to throw for 500 yards, if not more. And they're probably... I actually wouldn't be surprised if Atlanta blows another 15-point lead.
See, that's what you're missing. This is the perfect Atlanta game where they'll win and reinstall hope.
I don't think so. If Julio Jones is not playing, they will not win this game.
Understandable.
But this is the first time the Eagles have ever been winless through the first 3 weeks in a while. I forget what year it is, but...
Well, we're at records. We're at talking. Let's get into predictions, shall we?
Let's go. Here we go.
Bruno was like the best guest last year.
I was 12-3. No one came close. I think the next best was 10-5.
Yeah.
So let's see if I can make that happen again.
I think there's 15 games this week.
All right.
Yep.
16.
Game 1, Thursday Night Football. Denver goes to the Meadowlands to face the Jets.
Well, that's a great game to start off the week. I am going with Denver.
Okay, interesting. Bruno?
With two bad teams, both 0-3, both looking to find ways to lose, I think this... I'm going with the Broncos.
Are we sure that Denver's actually trying to find a way to lose?
I think the Jets do not win a game the whole season. They go 0-16.
Does Adam Gase coach all 16 games?
Adam Gase will be fired before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Well, I'll lone wolf it. I'll take the Jets.
Okay. Going with the Jets. Bold move.
I'll lone wolf it. Saints at Lions kick off Sunday coverage of the NFL.
The Saints need to win bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I'm saying the Saints need a bounce back win, but I'm saying watch out because Matt Stafford is going to air it out on that defense.
Right. I'm going to go Saints as well.
But I'm going Saints. Saints across the board.
Yeah. Jaguars at the Bengals. I think we might see Joe Burrow's first career win on Sunday. I'm going to go Bengals.
Why, Paul?
I'm just not sold on the Jaguars.
I'm going with Minshew Magic, and I am going to start on my fantasy team because he's handing out free Bud Light if he's on your team and you win a fantasy championship. I should do that. I'm not going to do that.
There's your key issue.
But Gardner Minshew is going to win this game. James Robinson, who the Dolphins did not stop, but they still won the game, is going to have another big game. I got the Jags.
I'm going Cincinnati. I think they can pull it out.
Yeah.
They played the Eagles pretty close. Clearly they tied, but they were pretty single-handedly hanging in there and winning the majority of that game. I think it's the time that Joe Burrow gets his first win. I think he beats the Eagles. Or beats
the
Jaguars.
Should have beat the Eagles.
Should have beat the Eagles.
The Chargers head east to face Tampa Bay.
I think Tampa Bay comes down to earth a little bit. I got the Chargers and Justin Herbert winning his first game.
I got the Buccaneers.
I'm with Bruno. I think the Bucs are going to win.
That's a lone wolf it again.
That Chargers defense is not exactly what the world up.
I think Tampa Bay has multiple ways to win. They can run the ball. They have a defense. They can throw it.
I got the Chargers with the upset.
Vikings at the Texans. Two teams really needing a win.
We didn't really talk about Houston that much, but 0-3 is not a good start for the Texans, considering they should...
Depends what side of the fence you're on that one, I guess.
True. A lot of people had high hopes for them this year. Trading DeAndre Hopkins was a awful move.
They got to use David Johnson more.
But I'm going with Houston to win this game. Minnesota has that COVID outbreak. Who knows how much they can practice with closing down facilities. I'm saying Houston wins.
I'm going Houston because I know they had a really tough first 3 games. I still think this is a good team. I think Houston gets their first win.
Vikings.
Vote
I'm going Vikings.
All right.
Much it kind of pains me to go away from Houston. Seahawks at Miami. Interesting, I think, trap game for Seattle. Still, I'm going to take them, though, but I don't know. Miami might be an interesting play on the point spread.
I'm taking Seattle.
It's going to be a close game. A lot closer than people think. I'm going 32-30
Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Really?
Miami wins. I think Miami gets a last-second field goal.
Wow. That's going to be the
Matt Felice, Miami Dolphins. Mark it. Book it.
I'll get that said 4103, so.
Now we can look.
All right. There we are. Browns at the Cowboys. Who wants to start?
I just said this. Odell Beckham has been lost in Cleveland. I think this is a breakout game for him. I think Dallas' secondary is trash. And I think Odell is going to go for 150 and 2 touchdowns, and the Cleveland Browns win pretty easy.
Of course, I will be rooting for Cleveland, but you're not playing Cincinnati or Washington this week. I think the Cowboys win this game. It would be something if they lose, though. They fought a 1-3, and they could easily be 0-4.
Remember this, Baker Mayfield, isn't he from Texas?
Yep.
Games in Dallas.
All right.
He's going to have a lot of family there.
I got
He's
the
gonna want to show out.
Cowboys, though. I got the Cowboys.
I'm going Browns.
I'm going Browns as well. That Cowboys defense is atrocious.
Thank you.
That offense has been pretty amoebic overall.
They really should be 0-3.
They only, I mean, Dak only really looks at about the same guy. Usually it's like Gallup. He doesn't really go for the big hens anymore. So
No.
The other COVID game, Steelers at Tennessee. Should this game be played?
These are 2-3-0 teams, right?
They're looking at Monday night possibly for this game. I'm gonna go with the Steelers. It appears that defense is a bit for real than what I figured off the bat.
These two teams are 3-0.
Correct.
Yep.
Tennessee should have lost to Minnesota last week. It was a close game, but I'm going with Steelers as well.
I think the game's going to be close. It's going to be a one-score game. Very low scoring, in my opinion, but I'm going to also go with the Steelers.
Ooh, clean sweep.
Cardinals against the Panthers.
I was kind of surprised that the Cardinals lost. And I was kind of surprised that the Panthers won last week. I like the Cardinals in this game. The Panthers, I'm not a big Bridgewater guy.
I am also going with Arizona on this game.
Clean sweep, Arizona. Colts at the Bears. Nick Foles getting the start under center for Chicago.
I'm going Colts.
I'm going Colts too.
I need BDN. Give me Nick Foles and the Bears.
Okay.
It's going to happen.
We will see.
Colts team hasn't done anything to really jump out. So.
No, it's still the Bears. I know they're what are they 3-0?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3-0, 2-1, something like that.
The final of the 1 o'clock games. Baltimore travels south on I-95 to take on Washington.
I'm going Baltimore. It's not even a close game.
Yeah, they're going to bounce back, beat the Washington football team.
Part of me really thinks Washington can win this. But I'm going to...
What part of you does that you think that?
This seems like the type of trap game for Baltimore where they would fall into thinking it's a bit more of a cakewalk. And
I don't know. I think Baltimore believed that they could go undefeated this year, and losing to Kansas City, they have to show the NFL that they are back. So I might take Baltimore by 3 touchdowns.
Whoa.
Well, I'm taking Baltimore. I don't think it would be like that.
All right.
I won't take Baltimore. First of the 4 o'clock, the late games. Giants go west to play the Rams in new SoFi Stadium.
The Rams.
Rams.
I don't want to talk about it.
Bills at the Raiders.
This is going to be a lot closer game than people anticipate, but I am going to take the Bills.
I'm taking the Raiders.
I think this is Bruno's first lone wolf. I'm taking the Raiders too. Just I think the Raiders
4-0, huh? 4-0 Bills.
The Raiders
I
need
like
to
the Bills.
bounce back. And
I like Buffalo in that game.
Patriots at Kansas City.
I'm going Patriots on this game.
Yeah, I'm going Patriots as well because this could be one of the games Kansas City loses. Kansas City's good, but they're not going undefeated.
Kansas City has a short week playing Sunday. They're going back from Baltimore, which was a tough game. They just beat Baltimore. I think they are going to lose to the Patriots.
Give me the baby daddy. Lone wolf in it. Patty Mahomes and the Chiefs.
Okay.
Got it?
Sunday night football. Eagles, 49ers. God, I don't know who I want to take in this game.
That's Sunday Night Football?
Yeah.
Yep. I said it before. I said the Eagles need to win one of these games coming up, and I think Carson Wentz wins on Sunday. I think he goes to San Francisco and gets his first win of the year.
Well, if I'm too hungover on Sunday and I so happen to fall asleep early on Sunday night, I'm not missing much in this Eagles-Niners game. But if I had to make a prediction, I am going with the 49ers because they can still play somewhat of football without all the injuries they've had.
Yeah.
We saw it against the Giants. And the Eagles just suck, so Niners.
I'm with Nick. I'm not too sure what the Eagles are going to be able to fully do, even with the 49ers being banged up. Kittle is projected to play, it looks like. I think Mostert's going to see some time on the field. I don't know, that Philly line, there's a lot of question marks on that Philly offensive line, so I'm gonna be with Nick though on this one. I don't feel confident about, but I'm gonna go 49ers. And then Monday night, the scheduled Monday night game, we should preface it with that, is Falcons at the Packers. Despite me saying it's a trap game, I'm still going to take the Packers.
You got the Falcons who love to blow leads. You got Aaron Rodgers on the Packers who could easily come back in games. I don't know if it's going to be a comeback, but I got the Aaron Rodgers and the Packers.
That's a clean sweep across the board because I'm also taking Aaron Rodgers and the Packers.
And is that 12-3 at least?
That's 15-0.
Might be 16-0. I think everyone's playing, right?
16-0.
There's no buys yet.
Yeah, 16-0.
Yeah.
15-0, 16-0. One of those. 15-1. No one's perfect. 14-2 maybe. It could be 2-12, 2-14. I have no idea.
All right, we got a little bit of time left, so before we get out of here, we'll discuss a little bit of the MLB playoffs. Fall Classic battling right now is what they're billing it to be, the Fall Frenzy. 16 teams this year, a little bit different. Games going on right now as we speak. Games already occurred earlier today with media jinx on Lucas Giolito. But this would be perfect game. This is a weird baseball season. It's been tough to get a vibe off of who, not so much is good, but I would say can make that run. Usually the past few years, you kind of get these teams that will make these runs that you don't expect. Kind of really started with Kansas City in 2014, at least in my opinion anyway. That being said, it's been a really weird baseball year. I'm still surprised they made it through, admittedly. Nick, you were saying about how there was only 2 games that never actually got played out of however many, which is pretty impressive overall.
Especially the Marlins.
Yeah. It was a tough year, bet-wise even. Usually baseball's where I make most of my sport betting money on the year, and this year was not the case. Just hard to get really good plays off of people. But I'm looking forward. It should be a really awesome playoff, different system that they're doing this year with a wild card round where everybody plays, but it's best of 3, and then they go into the bubble atmosphere for the rest of the way out. So, what are your guys' thoughts on it? It's going to be interesting. It's been fun games already to kind of watch throughout the day. So,
my Pirates
with a fist pump in the air.
Yeah. My Pirates with the number 1 overall pick.
Being Kumar Rocker.
There you go.
Even though there is a rule out there, if they play under 81 games, Rob Manfred can decide what the picks order could be. But there are rumors that he will keep it as the weakest team in this 60-game season. So hopefully we get it. We finished 19-41, lost 41 of the 60 games. We finished 24 games out for the number 1 seed in the National League in 60 games. The NL Central, which I thought was terrible, 4 of the 5 teams made the playoffs, not the Pirates. And they're all playing opposite teams in the other divisions. So they all could be playing in the Final Four for the National League. For the National League, the whole NL Central could be the Final Four.
That would be something.
And not the Pirates. But we get the number 1 pick. Al Leiter's kid's one of the top pick players coming out this year, so maybe we'll get him.
He's stupid not to take Kumar Rocker, but that's a different discussion.
Mm-hmm. They both played at Vanderbilt, right?
Yes.
Yes, and there will be hopefully college baseball, so we'll get some games in before these guys, get up to the MLB draft in June, I think, and
July this year because they're
July.
doing it at the All-Star game now.
Yeah, and I will admit I didn't watch too much baseball this year because the Pirates were way out of it, and there was all these other sports going on. I don't know. I just never came across watching too much, other than if I bet some games. I like what they did for the playoffs this year. Just this year, you can't do it in a normal season. There's no there's no difference between 8 to a 1 seed if you did this in a normal season. Like, you could be the best team in baseball all year long. You got to play a 3-game series. It's one thing when it's the wild card teams, but now when the number 1 seed's playing in a 3-game series, that's kind of that's not right. Especially in a 162-game season, that's not right. But for the 60-game season, I'm all right with it. Some of the other rules that went down, I'm not too big a fan of the extra inning rule. I don't think the games go that long to begin with. Can't think of any other rules. There's some
People were the big gripe, and I don't know where you guys fully stand, but I didn't have a problem with it because they've been doing it in the minor leagues literally my whole life. Is the 7-inning doubleheader rule?
Oh,
they've been doing that in the minor leagues our whole lives, and I didn't mind it. I mean,
I love that rule. I think they should do that more often.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. The runner on second base, I didn't like. I'll put it to you this way: I didn't like it because the managers weren't utilizing it right. Like, I don't get how you don't at least attempt to bunt at least 1 pitch to get the guy over to third.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's kind of mind blowing to me. But
was there ever a walk-off 2-run homer?
I'm sure there was.
Yeah, that would be cool. Walk-off.
There probably was.
2-run.
I mean, I'm sure there was. I'd have to imagine.
Yeah.
Walk off 2-run, 1 earned run.
Yeah.
So.
But I'm happy they made it. A lot of people thought they wouldn't make it, and we got playoffs. This first round's a little weird because we're not used to it, but a couple days we back playing the division series like normal, and we'll see who wins. I don't know who's gonna win because there's a lot of interesting teams in the playoffs that don't usually make it.
That is correct.
Yeah, you got like the White Sox in there. It's been a while for them.
The
The Marlins. The Padres don't usually make it. And
who else?
it's just. But is it surprising? I know Paul liked this.
Toronto, first time since 16 that they've been in.
Is it surprising that Mike Trout and Bryce Harper did not lead their teams to expanded playoffs?
Wow.
I would say, I'll if you don't mind, I'll start on that one.
Yeah.
The Phillies definitely surprised me. They were one of the teams that literally blew it the last weekend of the year. All they had to do, I think, was win 1 game. They didn't win a game. So, I mean, in that case, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely surprised at that one. By Mike Trout, I'm not surprised. Are you kidding me? The Angels are terrible.
They just don't have any pitching.
No. They didn't barely have any hitting this year, really, outside of freaking Trout and Anthony Rendon. So, but...
And Poole's just, taking a cane to the end of his contract.
True.
So bad.
What are your thoughts, Bruno, on this season?
On the season, I don't know. I like the shorter season. I think that, personally, I think MLB should cut down a boatload of games. I think 162 is way too many.
What do you think's enough?
100.
100.
Personally, I think this would be the perfect baseball season. Memorial Day weekend, opening weekend. 4th of July, you got your All-Star game. Labor Day weekend, end of the regular season. After that, you start your playoffs. World Series ends, Columbus Day weekend. I think that'd be the best season.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to play in any cold weather. You're in ideal weather every time, no matter where you go. I don't know why they don't look into that. And even players now are saying 162 is too many. They're like, we don't want to travel for 162 days.
Yeah, I'm sure some were saying until all of a sudden they realized that the contracts are going to have to get prorated out.
Well, here's also the other thing. Adam Silver is talking about moving the basketball season to like the summer. If you are competing against basketball for ratings, you are going to lose. Majority of the people are going to rather watch an NBA game over a baseball game. That's just a fact. So unless they go back to the old school ways and having all day games or majority day games, that's going to save them. But I think they would need to shorten the season down a little bit, personally.
I don't know if you need to shorten it to that degree.
It's 100 games.
I think the ideal
115.
The ideal different discussion, obviously, but I think the ideal thing for me would be 154, and then in the 154 you have double headers sprinkled in throughout the season. I mean, I do agree. I think 162 is a bit whatever, but I mean, 154 was what the thing was what it was for years. So, I think 154 double headers. As long as you get it done by end of October, I think you're good.
It's just all about money. You never see games get taken away.
Yeah.
Like when playoffs get expanded, like when the NFL is going to 7 playoffs, you'll never see it go back to 6 unless a pandemic happens. Like baseball went to 5, you'll never see it go back to 4. College basketball, you'll never see it go back to like 64. It'll all be 68. You know, college football will never go back to the championship game.
Will we see baseball go back to 5 teams over 8? Because they have 8 teams in there right now.
Yeah, NHL's got 24. I think the only reason you even change it is because of a pandemic or something like that. But like in a normal scene, like a normal season, you'll never see games taken away. Regular season, playoffs, whatever. It's just sure, yeah. I think it's way too many games, but I just don't think they'll ever do it. They'll never do it.
Well, speaking of playoffs, Nick, we'll stick with you first. Predictions: who's going to be in the World Series and win?
I don't remember who I took for the National League in the previous show, but I took the A's.
It don't matter. This look, throw away the predictions, okay? Because freaking the way this year is.
Oh yeah, that's right. We made predictions. Like I think when we did that, we didn't even know about the expanded playoffs yet. But I am not taking the A's. I am taking the Dodgers. I'm taking the White Sox. And I think the Dodgers win it, though.
Bruno.
I am going with the Atlanta Braves and the Tampa Bay Rays.
That ought to be some good ratings.
And?
And what?
Who wins?
Oh. I'll go Atlanta wins. I think they can score more runs.
I'm doing it for the views. Give me the White Sox and Padres. Padres win.
Yes.
That'd be fun.
Anything is possible.
If I didn't say Dodgers, all those World Series ratings are not going to be the best, but it might happen, though.
Yeah. All right. End of the show. We thank everyone for tuning in. Bruno, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Good to have you back in studio.
It's great being
Good
back.
to see that you survived part 1 of the global pandemic.
Yep, part 1 out of who knows how many parts. But we got to get the Goon Squad back on here. Matt, Justin, Pat.
Yeah.
Everybody. Come
Just
on.
have a whole huge debate.
Come on.
Nick, who are you shouting out? It's been a while. Who you got?
Yes, I actually have a shout out today. Paul's not going to like it. In our fantasy baseball league, Jerry won fantasy baseball. I'm going to shout out my cousin Johnny Marino, who won that league, the shortened season, except he beat Paul in the finals. Paul was undefeated. No one's ever gone undefeated in my fantasy leagues. But shout out Johnny on winning. Congratulations.
All right.
Thanks for coming out, Bruno.
Thank you, Nick. Thanks for having me.
If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe. Don't lose fantasy championship games when you're freaking undefeated like I was. We'll catch you next time on the Fresh Cheeks Podcast. Russo and Felice.